Cheap versus luxury underwear. Gentlemen, what's the difference? In today's video, I'm going to discuss this because over the last 5 years, I've tried out 25 different brands, different price points from really low to really high. And I can tell you there are key differences. In fact, there are 6 key differences between the El Cheapos and luxury brands. I want to start this video off by addressing the elephant in the room, and that is, does it really matter? Come on, you're talking about underwear here. I know a lot of you guys are in this camp. I was in this camp with the El Cheapos. It's like, hey, this is something I'm going to wear. I'm going to throw away when it gets old. And it just really doesn't matter. It's underwear. Nobody sees it. Then there are other people that go into this camp. And I'm in this camp now, I have to admit, because you start to wear something that feels amazing next to your body. You realize there is a difference. Now, in this video, each of these points I'm going to get into. I'm going to try to get into a little bit more detail because I want to maybe shift the mindset of some of you guys that are over here as to why this may be a great choice, why you may want to upgrade your underwear. Really quick, guys. All the images, all the samples of luxury underwear you're going to see me talking about in this video come from Tanny. I'm going to link to them down in the description. I've got a discount code for you. They're the paid sponsor of this video, but I've been with these guys for 2 years. They are the real deal. Why I love Tanny is their attention to detail in the fabric choice that they use, like micromodal air. You're not going to find this anywhere else, and I've tested this stuff. Guys, for the last 6 months, I've been traveling, and I looked at the majority of the underwear in my wardrobe. It came from Tanny. They don't just have underwear, by the way. They've got great undershirts. They've got thermals, all types of loungewear. Go check out Tanny. They're a great sponsor, a good company. I've met the guys that are running it, and I can't say enough great things about them. Go check them out. The first and most important difference between cheap underwear and luxury underwear, gentlemen, is going to be fabric. Let me say that again. Fabric is king when it comes to underwear. And there is a very particular reason why. Because this underwear has to be a workhorse. You want it luxurious, you want it to feel great, but it also has to be thrown into the washer and washed potentially over 100, if not more times. And when you go with cheaper underwear, it's just simply not going to be as durable. It's never going to be as luxurious, and it's got to balance both. So to find particular fabrics which are going to be luxurious, are going to touch and going to feel great, and are going to be able to stand up to the wash is very difficult. I mean, think about it with a jacket. So a jacket can be luxurious, it can feel and look great, but it doesn't get thrown into a washing machine, and you actually take this very rarely to a cleaner. Your underwear, on the other hand, after every wear, you're throwing this into the laundry, and you want this to look good after 20 washes, after 30 washes, after 50 washes. Now, the way that they do this is they choose very particular fabrics. Let's just take cotton as an example. So cotton in lower end cheap underwear is going to be made from a low strand cotton. What this means is that the fiber that actually of the cotton fiber is going to be very short. We see this in the United States coming out of like the West Texas area. Those cottons are oftentimes lower fiber. They're all over the place. They're very inexpensive, and they're relatively good for t-shirts, cheap underwear. For the higher end underwear that use like Swiss cotton, that use Egyptian cotton, use Sea Island cotton, what they use is a longer strand. This is going to be rarer. So right there, that drives up the price. Then they're going to weave it into a very tight and thin yarn. So the yarns over here are not going to be as tight or not going to be as thin, and so you get actually a much rougher fabric. Over here, you're going to be able to create fabrics which are more dense. They're softer. They feel amazing, and that's what the difference is. Again, guys, fabric is king. So I know some of you guys have questions about man-made materials and their use in underwear. Let's talk about 2 of the most common ones out there, polyester and micromodal. So polyester, you'll see it in a lot of cheaper garments and some expensive ones, but basically what polyester is it's a, if you can imagine, a diluter. You put it in with cotton, you put it in with wool, it allows you to maintain very similar properties of the cotton while you mix in a cheaper material. Micromodal, on the other hand, underwear can be made fully from it, and that's why I really like it. It's actually made from wood pulp, so it's a cellulose-based material. It's biodegradable. It's something that's a renewable resource, so that's great right there. But micromodal in general, oftentimes it's called almost like a silk, and that's what it gives the feel of. I love it because it's durable, it's tough, it's got a very nice feel. Now, when you're looking at micromodals, understand there's micromodal and then there's micromodal air. Micromodal air, you're only going to see it like companies like Tanning because it's a very high-end luxury fabric. But the difference is that they take that individual yarn and it's 1/4 to 1/5 the size of the other micromodal. So if you can imagine, that makes a huge difference in the overall feel and how long this micromodal is going to stand up to wash and to everything else that you expose this to. Now, this last part I want to talk about when it comes to fabric goes a bit more into the build quality, but when they use higher end fabrics, you should expect to have a higher build quality. So when I look at the stitching from a higher end brand, I'm going to go in here and I can see, okay, it's all nicely put together. They didn't miss any stitches. There's no excess material versus on cheaper brands, I'm going to see they've got excess material over here. They may have actually missed some stitching points. Parts of it put together are not aligned properly. This can have a small effect on comfort. For some of you guys, it may not be something you care about. Other people, they care about the attention to detail. But what this tells me deeper is, okay, what type of actual thread did they use to put this together? This one is key because if you use a low quality thread, this underwear is going to start to come apart after 20 washes, 10 washes maybe. This one right here, because of the quality of the thread used, this should be able to, I don't know, go through 50 to 100 washes. So you can see how all of these things play together in the durability, the life, and why fabric is so important when it comes to your underwear. Difference number 2 between cheap and luxury underwear is going to be the fit. So you've got to think with luxury underwear brands, they're actually going for a smaller demographic. If you buy underwear at Walmart or Target, they're going for a wide range of guys. You're going to get a pair of underwear that's made to fit a wide variety of body types and usually a wider range in the waist. For higher end brands, they're going to usually narrow that down, make it a bit smaller. They're going to say, hey, we target the fit individual. We target the thin individual. And they're not going to maybe say that in their marketing, but what they will say that with is the sizes that they actually make available and how small and the incremental differences. This makes a big difference in how it feels, how it goes onto your body. You're also going to see differences in stretch. So with a lot of cottons out there, you're simply going to see a two-way stretch. Two-way stretch is fine and it's what many of us are used to, but whenever you try a four-way stretch, you're going to be amazed. And a four-way stretch, as it sounds, stretches in 4 different ways, and this just makes it so you avoid hot spots in and around your crotch area. And for some guys who are really sensitive there, this can make a huge difference. Difference number 3 between cheap underwear and luxury underwear, gentlemen, is going to be that underwear's function. So let me explain. So cheap underwear is going to basically be a jack of all trades. This is something that you can get away with wearing in most situations, but for extreme situations, for sporting events, for if you're a line cook and you're going to be standing up for 16 hours a day in a hot kitchen, if you need underwear with special support needs, then that's when luxury underwear is going to shine, and you're going to need to pay a premium for it. So let's look at this design right here. This has been around for a long time. This pair of cheap underwear, yeah, it gets the job done for many situations. If you're a student, probably work for you. But this underwear right here has actually a front pouch design. Notice right here, if you want to have your package taken care of, you would go for a brand like this. And think about where that's important in sports, the jock strap. How many guys have worn this? Think about that. So maybe you wouldn't have considered that a luxury underwear, but it was a specialty type of underwear that did its job and had a specific function. So if you're in sports and athletics, you want to find a brand that wicks away moisture from the body. If you're going to be running a marathon, and as anyone that's ever ran a long distance race knows, a small irritation can lead to a big irritation 10 miles and an hour or 2 down the road, and it can lead to just, a lot of pain, bleeding, chafing. So these particular things, luxury underwears, specific ones, you want to make sure that it serves that purpose, because no luxury underwear is going to be able to do everything. But in the luxury market, you're going to be able to find specific underwear that better wicks away moisture, that just has a better feel, that when you wear it, it feels like you're wearing nothing at all, at the same time provides support. Difference number 4 is company size. Difference number 5 is customer service. I'm going to bring them together because I think they go hand in hand. Now, with the cheaper underwear manufacturers, Oftentimes, they're a mass play. They're making millions of pieces, and they're larger companies. They've been around for a while. They've got, they're great at efficiency, but they're bad at customer service oftentimes. Have you ever tried calling some of these companies and getting a hold of somebody that can alleviate your problem? You've got an issue, you've been wearing the underwear, but you have an outbreak. You're trying to figure out what is in this underwear. Was there some type of chemical it was exposed to that could be causing me to get this rash? Versus a smaller company. You can get a hold of a decision maker. You can speak with them about, hey, I saw you're doing this design, but I've got this issue. Have you ever thought of moving this? You actually will have people that you can talk and bounce ideas off of. If you've got a customer service issue, you oftentimes will speak to the CEO, to the president, to the founder, or to a customer service rep who has decision-making ability to either refund you your money or to maybe send you out a new pair. Good luck with the larger manufacturers. Now, I'm not against larger manufacturers. I think there's a lot of great things, a lot of good people that work for these companies, but oftentimes you're just not able to get the same type of response you can from a smaller company. Difference number 6 between cheap underwear and luxury underwear is going to be options. I find that in the luxury brands, I've got a lot more options when it comes to materials, when it comes to fabrics, when it comes to design, when it comes to particular styles. With the larger manufacturers, I oftentimes find, again, it's a mass manufacture play. They are coming out with a few different colors, maybe a few different designs, but some of you guys may want to have something that no one else has. Something that when you look at this and you wear it, you're like, I know that I'm getting the best. I know that I'm going with some of the best fabrics. I'm going with a really cool design. I like it with the luxury brands that they've got more options, quite a few more than the other guys. All right, gentlemen, now it's your turn. I want to hear from you down in the comments. What'd you think of this video? Did you learn anything new? And what side of the aisle are you on? Are you a luxury underwear kind of guy, or are you going to be with the El Cheapo? Or are you going to switch sides? Did I put enough information out there that you're going to go try a luxury brand? And if you're going to do it, guys, in the description, I'm linking over to Tanny with a great discount code. Guys, I've been using this particular pair of underwear. I have worn, I don't know how many times. It has to be over the last 8 months. At least 50 times I've worn these underwear, and I've washed them 50 times, of course. And I can tell you, they're beautiful, they're durable, they're still standing up, and they are incredibly soft. I love my tanning, and I hope that you guys go over and you check them out. A great company, great brand. Look at the fabrics. You'll be blown away at the detail that they go into their fabrics. Gentlemen, that's it. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.